Probably there is no stress now because there is no sign of a suffering on your face. You look so cheerful only because now you are in the midst of nature. If you think that you are doctors, then you have to suffer from strain. If you stop thinking that you are doctors, there is no problem of stress. We are not doctors all the time. We are parts of nature. We are not here in this world just to examine the patients and to treat the diseases. We are here to live. Just like the birds and bees. We are here. Before you became doctors, you were joyful. After retirement, you will be joyful. But when you are treating the patients, you are suffering. Means we think that we are doctors, so this is the main cause of suffering. That's the politics. We are here to live, not to suffer from stress and strain. And what is the purpose of life? We are not just going to live here. We are going to live here joyfully. What is this joy? How we get it? That we have to think of and about. We use certain terms. Pleasure, then there is a happiness. Thirdly, there is peace. These three things are quite different. We can't say that every person who has pleasures is peaceful mentally or happy even. These three things are slightly different. Here is a flower, a bunch of flowers. When I look at it, what happens? Mind comes in contact with the beauty of the flower. Then mind takes the form of flower, beauty. This mind which has taken the form of flower and beauty does not suffer. It enjoys. What does it enjoy? It enjoys the beauty of the flowers. The flowers are always in smile. Therefore, the person who looks at the flowers with all his heart, his mind becomes, what does it become? Beautiful. Unless mind becomes beautiful, we can't enjoy. The contact is there. From this contact there arises a feeling in our mind. That feeling is called pleasure. When there is no contact, the pleasure, emotion or feeling vanishes. means there is no pleasure. Pleasure is a momentary usually. When there is an object of our liking, there is a pleasure. When the object is away from us, there is no pleasure. Hence the pleasures rise and fall like waves. When there is object, there is a pleasure. When there is no object, there is no pleasure. This object may be external or internal. Even when there is no flower on this table, when I think of the flower in my mind becomes pleased. This feeling is called pleasure. It is momentary, not permanent. Most of the people, or most of us, are after pleasures. Means our pleasure is to come from outside. But outside, there is so much change going on. The flower does not remain the flower all the time. After some time, it fades, it withers away. And with it, our pleasure also withers. Why? Because the pleasure, feeling, and the object, they go together. If we try to fill our life with only pleasures, then we have to suffer. Because objects on which our pleasure depends does not remain the same. It goes on changing. This is the nature of the world. We can't make anything in this world permanent. It has to change. The sun rises, and from the very moment of his rising, he begins his journey towards the sunset. Everything is what is happening to it. Everything is a change. And everything appears in the world, and later it disappears from the world. Therefore, the pleasure feeling, it appears one moment. The very next moment, it withers, or it goes away. Therefore, the person who is only after pleasures, he has to suffer. He has to suffer. Our pleasures depend upon what we see, upon what we hear, upon what we taste and smell. And these objects of senses are not permanent. Eyes see a beautiful figure and I enjoy. Ears hear melodious voice, we enjoy. My touch organ, my finger touches the smooth surface of this table, then I feel very much pleased. Means my pleasure is connected with the external objects. These external objects change, therefore our pleasure moments change. You cannot make those pleasures permanent. And objects are so many. Sense objects are millions in number. And they don't give us contentment. Means, I see this flower, I get pleasure. Here the problem doesn't end. Then I want to see something else, get pleasure from it. There are millions of things, therefore my desire to fulfill my pleasure feeling remains unfulfilled always, because so many things are there. And every time I get a pleasure from the objects, I think that pleasure must be there always. But this doesn't happen, that worries us. That is the first cause of tension, strain. Means, which is not possible, that we are expecting. Therefore, our pleasure is not going to make us joyful. This is a wrong thinking, false thinking. We should make our mind ready to accept the disappearance of the flower and enjoy the beauty of the flower. The very next moment it may not be there. But this moment, I have to live in this moment and enjoy it, and not to worry about the next moment. If I begin to think of the next moment, future moment, it may come or it may not come. It may be the same situation, it may not be the same situation. That causes strains. Straininess. This is pleasure. Then happiness is slightly different from it. What is happiness? Happiness does not depend upon the external objects. It is a state of the mind. It is a state of the mind. We come across in the society some people who are poor, who have not much to own. Still they keep laughing. They enjoy their life. They don't have much to enjoy. Still they know how to enjoy. And their enjoyment is not coming from the objects, but it comes from their own cheerful heart. Such people are described as cheerful people. Their cheerfulness does not come from outside. It is not just on the surface of their face, it is there in their heart. It is deep rooted in the heart of those people. They are free people. Nothing worries them, nothing they care about, because they know that they are simple people and they are here to live joyfully. That is the goal of life, they think, not the pleasures, the goal of life according to them. Pleasures come and go. If a pleasure has to depend upon the external world, then only rich people can live happily in this world, because they have so many things to enjoy. But this person who is lacking in material wealth, he knows that his aim of life is not to become rich, but happy. They are after happiness, therefore they are successful. We are after pleasures, therefore we suffer. We are after pleasures. And happiness is within our reach. But the pleasures are not within our reach. We can control our happy mood, but we cannot control the moments after the pleasures. This is a great problem before man. Psychological analysis we are doing here, not just the external situations, but psychological condition of a person. When our goal is happiness, even without the pleasure objects, we can be happy. If our goal is something different, Suppose my goal is to become the Prime Minister of India, then I have to suffer. Then I have to worry. The stress makes me less able to become a Prime Minister. I want to become a great doctor. Why should we worry about becoming great doctors? If we ourselves are suffering from strain and stress, how can we be great in this world? We have to know, the patient knows that, doctors know everything. They know how to live joyfully, they know how to do away with the troubling disorders of the body and the mind. They have full trust in you. But if you have no trust, then he begins to expect much. Because we allow him to expect much from us. Don't worry, I am going to treat you. You will be all right. Instead of saying so, you will be all right if God blesses you. I am just a helper. If you say these things, then he does not expect much from you. He believes in God. In the old days, people used to say so. Therefore, they did not expect much from the doctors. And doctors were very free. Whatever treatment he gives in the names of God and nature. Now, whatever medicines we give to him, we say that this medicine is going to treat him. Those people said something else, which changed the very attitude of the patients. Now we say, depend upon the medicine and depend upon the doctors. He completely depends upon you. If you fail, he will punish you. Isn't it? Therefore, attitude is quite important. Don't think that you are going to treat everything. Don't think that you know everything about the body, about the mind, about the diseases. I know a little. With that little knowledge, I can help you to some extent. Just believe in yourself, you are going to be healthy. You are going to be freed from disease. And God is there to look after you. Just have faith in Him. If you don't believe in God, then believe in the nature. Nature itself is a great God. It is the visible divine reality. The nature is there. The best doctor, if there is anybody in this world, it is the nature. Therefore, these two things are to be kept in mind. The first one is, pleasure is a pleasure, don't run after it. Let us have pleasure moments, simple pleasure moments, but we should not run after it. Have a sip of water, there is a pleasure. Have a sip of wine, there is a pleasure. But if you drink water, the pleasure feeling does not make you run after it. But if you then you have to run after it every morning. After closing the hospital, means we doctors are not depending upon ourselves. We will be serving our desires. And that desire is not going to make us happy. It goes on increasing, it makes us slaves. A slave cannot live happily in this world. Doctors should not become slaves of bad habits. or if you think it is a good habit, let it be good, but we should not be the slaves of that habit. Let us think that food is enough to be happy. Let us think that water is enough to be happy. Let us think that these people, sitting with these people, is enough to cure my disease and be happy in life. This is a happiness. Happiness is not momentary. It lasts for a long time. A happy man, we say. Wordsworth says, happiness means contentment. Happiness is contentment. Shakespeare says, I am happy. Therefore, there is nobody in this world who can say that he is a king of kings. But I am here to say that I am king of kings because my happiness is there within me. It is in the form of contentment. I think my crown is not made of gold and jewel. My crown is made of contentment which is within my heart. And this contentment no person in this world can take away. Crowns are taken away, isn't it? But my heart is there. There is that contentment. How can you take it away from me? I am victorious always. There is no force in this world which can make me unhappy. Means whatever may happen in the world, I am contented with it. With contentment I live, and with contentment feeling I die in this world. Therefore I am the King of Kings, and everybody is a King of Kings. You are not a doctor of doctors, you are a King of Kings. This feeling, this attitude is very important. This is a happiness. Happiness is contentment. If we choose to be unhappy, nobody can help us. There is a story of a farmer. He was living in some other country, a very rich country. In a small village, this person lived. He was a farmer. He was loved by everybody in the village. One day, he was happy, of course, because he had 4 sons. Everybody was working, and the whole family was working and living in its farm, big farm. There was nothing lacking to drink and eat. No lacking of food, no lacking of water, and everybody was loving him. Therefore, what else is needed in life? Food for the body, water for the body, and the love of the people for the mind. What else is needed to be happy? This farmer was having all of them. Means he was happy. But one day, while he was wandering in a forest area, he came across a statue. He came across a statue. This statue was very beautiful. And the farmer saw that the statue was made of gold, not of a 22 carat, but 24 carat. He was so happy, very happy, and took the statue to his home. The whole village came to see the statue and congratulate the farmer, elder farmer, the owner of the house. The family members were rejoicing the find of the statue because it was a golden statue weighing not less than 20 kilos, not mixed, pure. Now he had become the richest man in the area, in his province. 20 kilos of gold and the most beautiful statue in the world, and in his house, then what would have become of his happiness? He was the most happy person in the world, but only for a few minutes. While he was bringing the statue home, he looked at the inscription which was written at the bottom of the statue. There it was written that this is the 18th statue of Buddha. Means he thought, I have to find 17 more statues. How can I be happy if 17 statues are lost? One statue was enough to make him happy. But now he feels that I have to find 17, only then I have to become happy. He was sitting in his house. Everybody in the neighboring villages, from the neighboring villages, came to his house, and they were given feast. Festival atmosphere was there in his house. Celebration was going on. These people came to thank him, but he looked very, very, very gloomy. They said the whole of it. They told him, why you look so gloomy, so depressed, so distressed? The whole village is enjoying and you are not joyful. You are not joyous. What has happened to you? Your sons are celebrating the find. Your wife is celebrating the find. And in the house, hundreds and hundreds of people are being feasted. But you sit in this corner and look so gloomy. What has happened to you? Then the person said, you don't know. If you had known, you would not have enjoyed. Means 20 kilo of gold has not made him happy. In the first moment of the find, he was happy. But when he read the inscription, he got. Then he said, you do not know the reality. What is the fact? They asked. What is the matter? He said, the matter is, this is the 18th golden, pure golden statue. What does it mean? Just tell me. Means 17 statues are missing still. If I don't find them, how can I be happy? Means happiness does not depend upon. If it is to be there, whatever is there, it must be. what does it do? It must be enough for him to enjoy life. 4 flowers are there. If I think of 14 flowers or 16 flowers, 4 raised to 2, 16 flowers, then 4 flowers cannot make me happy. Because I am thinking of 16 flowers. That old person, farmer, was thinking of 18 statues. Only one he has found. How can I be happy? How to make this person happy? Just tell me. Is it possible to make him happy? Unless we give him 17 more statues, he can't be happy. This is how happiness is eluding us. We can't touch it. We can't have it. It is a way of looking at the things. If we had looked at the statue as a golden and 20 kilos in weight, he would have become very happy. He was looking at the inscription, which is not a golden inscription. Just a few words, 18, 17, 16. He read 18, then he became unhappy. How can he be happy? To be happy, how many patients we cure, we should not worry. Maybe 18 or maybe 17, maybe 1. That is not a problem. That should not be a problem. We need not expect certificates from these patients, every patient. One statue is enough to make him contented. One patient, while leaving your hospital, leaves you with a smile on his face. That is one golden statue. That has to be. If you think of all other patients, then we have to suffer. Then strain is created, stress is created. We can't get sleep because stress means stress. When we are alone, the stress stresses us more. When we are with people, the stress hides within our heart. Therefore, if we have to free ourselves from the stress, then we have to stop thinking of 17 statues. Just to think of a patient who has left you with a smile on his face and who thanks you with all his heart. That is enough to keep you 1 year happy. Don't worry about other people. Why we worry about other people? Because we have read the inscription. This medicine going to cure him. That is the inscription. Then he has to expect cure from the medicine. That does not going to happen. Whatever we have, we must be contented with. If we are having 8 hours work, we should be happy with 8 hours. If we have to have only 2 hours work, let us be happy with 2 hours. We should not think that this doctor is working for 18 hours. I am only working for 8 hours. Don't worry about it. He is capable of working for 18 hours. I am quite contented with 8 hours. And there are so many people who are not doctors at all, still they are enjoying the life. Isn't it? Their wives, for example, their wives, they are not doctors. Suppose they are not doctors, they are housewives. They enjoy. With just a few flowers, if you give her, she will enjoy. For her, with the flowers, or in the form of flowers, the heaven comes into her house. But with so many dollars in our pockets, the heaven is not in our sight. Expectation, too much expectation from ourselves or from the world is the cause of stress and tension. It is the cause of stress and tension. Not to expect too much from our body. Body needs rest. Body suffers from tiredness, has its own limitations. We should not force it to work. Then it creates the condition of strain in our mind. The body cannot tolerate. Therefore, we have to listen to the body, listen to the mind, then we have to do our duties. First, we are parts of the nature, later we are doctors for the patients. But we are not doctors all the time. That is creating problems for us. This is a happiness. This happiness is our richness. We have to have our heart filled with happiness always. Contented. Contentment. If there is contentment, then there is no problem of stress. This is the second term. The first is the pleasure feeling, the second one is happiness. And one more is there, peace. It is different. If a pleasure is momentary, happiness lives for some more time. It may live for a year or 2 years or 100 years. And thirdly, there is a peace. It is eternal. Peace means we should not leave our mind affected by whatever happens in the external world. When something happens in the external world, the mind gets affected by it. If suppose someone says something which is not liked by us, then that disturbs the mind. That disturbs the mind. If that person praises us, that praise also disturbs the mind. Both pleasure and praise and blame, both of them are affecting us. Pleasure, praise brings us pleasure, and blame brings us suffering. If we want to live peacefully, then we should not be disturbed by both these things. This praise is outside, this praise is outside, this blame is outside. Let me live unaffected by whatever words are said by the external world. That is a peace of mind. After all, I am only a man. My aim of life is to live peacefully, not just happily, nor even just with pleasure. I have to live peacefully. Nothing is going to happen in this world. And I am not responsible for what happens in this world. Everything does not depend upon me. We are just, when compared with the universe, we are just insignificant creatures. Isn't it? We are just insignificant creatures. What happens to us the next moment, nobody knows. There was a doctor who assured the mother of a dying child, suffering child. He said, leave the burden of treating this boy upon me. I shall cure him. Don't worry about the disease, about the boy. Let me be responsible for it. He assured the mother. Mother smiled. She felt very happy. But while he was leaving, when he was crossing the threshold of the house, his heart failed. The doctor collapsed. Not the patient, doctor collapsed. Because we don't know when our heart is going to stop. As long as it is there, let us enjoy. When it stops, let us smile and leave the world. If that preparedness is there, then there is no problem of stress. The world is great. The world is very vast. We are not gods here. We are not omnipotent, means all powerful. We are not all knowers. What do we know? Certain things we know. So many things we do not know. Whatever knowledge we have to use it and serve the society. That is to be the duty of the doctors. You just now said, engineers are very wise because they build the building, then they forget the building. When in an earthquake, when it collapses, then he comes to know that his building has fallen. He doesn't worry about it. I am not responsible. Earthquake is responsible. But we don't think so. We think that we are responsible. Therefore, that creates a condition in which, mental condition in which, we have to experience the tension. This is peace. Peace means not being affected by whatever happens in this world. There is a joy, there is suffering. There is a victory, success, there is a failure. They go together. The world is dual. There is a duality in the world. There is a success and there is a failure. Isn't it? There is a pleasure and there is a suffering. There is a poverty and there is a richness. There is a beauty and there is ugliness. Look at the world. These two together live in the world. Therefore, I like one thing, I dislike the other thing. Therefore, whatever I dislike should not be there in the world. Impossible. If we say so, then we have to suffer. That causes misery. That causes tension. And the tension, you know, you are doctors. It is the root cause of all the diseases. If that root is in the doctor's heart, therefore my request is that you have just said here that you are suffering from strain and stress. If this news reaches the patient, then the number comes down, stress increases. Therefore, whatever may happen, we have to keep with a smile on our face. Doctors treat the patient not just with medicines, but with a sweet smile on his face. He is the best doctor. He has to tell the patient that if your heart is aching, my heart also is aching, why do you worry? If your head is aching, yesterday I was also suffering from headache. I don't worry about it. Why should they? Doctors are not worrying, why should patients worry? This is how we have to create or change their attitude towards the disease and health and the doctors. This is how we have to live, isn't it? This is peace. The persons who are after pleasures suffer much. The persons who are having happiness, for a long time they live happily. Sometimes they fail to be happy. But the person who enjoys peace of mind, he is always happy. Come whatever. All the seasons are the same. For a person who is working in the midst of nature, say for example a farmer, he cannot sit in his house when there is a sun outside, when there is wind outside, when there is a rain outside. He has to go out. Whether it is a summer season or rainy season or winter season or whatever it is, he has to be with it. Means he enjoys summer, he enjoys the rainy season, he enjoys the winter. If he knows how to enjoy these 3 seasons, or 6 seasons, Vasanta, Grishma, Varsha, Sharat, Hemanta, Shishira, then you cannot make him unhappy. Isn't it? There is so much, we say, don't go outside. There is much rainfall. Don't go outside. The boy sits inside, looking at the television. Then sun comes. Then mother, you tell him, don't go outside. The sun is very hot. You are very fair. It may be affected. He sits inside. Then comes winter. Then mother and father says, don't go outside. There is so much cold. Cold is very bad for you. Heat is very bad for you. Rain is very bad for you. Then what is left? What is left? Means the whole day, not only the day, whole year is bad for him. Because once he is adapted to the artificial atmosphere within his house, then he cannot live joyfully. Let him go out. Let him be drenched in the rain. Let him sweat in the summer. Let him shiver in the winter. What happens? The body has to experience all the seasons, then he becomes hardened. Then he doesn't worry about all these things. He goes out, he comes in, nothing worries him. But we create artificial atmospheres, and thoughts also are artificial. Therefore we suffer so much in this world. And the doctors will tell him that don't worry about your disease, just live as you do every day. Eat whatever you like, but not much. Drink whatever you like, but only water. Go anywhere, but see that it is nature. Go anywhere doesn't mean go to beach. Huh? Not a beach. Nightclub. Go into the nature and sit there, enjoy the green color. The wind is blowing very clean wind, cool and clean, no problem of pollution. Then for you there is so much music, cuckoo is singing and parrots are prattling, isn't it? The peacock is dancing, but it costs nothing for you. If you go to a drama house, musical house, then you have to empty your pocket. In the midst of nature, everything comes freely and you have to enjoy it. That is the best medicine for the stress. It is to do that. This is peace. Then what is to be done to live peacefully? You have to choose such friends who live peacefully. If your friends are always worried, always complaining, always looking gloomy, then better avoid him. His company is creating so many problems. Then seek the company of those people who are contented within their heart. Contented within their heart. For example, a boy who looks after cattle. He sits on a cattle or a buffalo and sings so joyfully. He has nothing. It is not a vehicle. It is not a big vehicle. It has not come from America or Japan. It is just a buffalo and it doesn't know who is sitting on it. Because it is also quite contented. The buffaloes never worry about anything else. Do they? Never. Just look at them. Walt Whitman was a great poet. He used to tell the people, if you are unhappy, then look at the cattle. They are so happy. They have no big houses and they have no house at all. And their food does not come from China or Japan. It just comes from the earth. It is in the form of grass. It enjoys the grass, lives so joyful. Man, you are the owner of the buffalo. Why should you worry? Your vehicle itself, your buffalo itself is not worrying. Why should you worry? Walt Whitman asked this question. He doesn't ask other people, he asks himself. Why should I worry? If my cow is so happy, the owner of the cow must be more happy. Why should he be unhappy? And it doesn't know what is stress. The cow doesn't know what is stress. What is tension? One day, a bird tells the cow, your master is suffering from stress and strain. The cow says, I give him milk. Why should you worry? If he is to worry with my milk, then my milk is wasted. I am not worrying. Drink milk from me, live joyfully. My master should be more happy than I. More happy than. In the same way, we doctors must be more happy than. We have to fill the gap. We must be very happy. If the students are happy, teachers should be more happy. If the disciples are enjoying life, why should their master suffer? Therefore, as we grow in learning, in knowledge, and in experience, we should learn to live joyfully without being disturbed by stress and strain. And you are all doctors, you know it. It is not a new thing. You know it very well, because you know that stress also is a disease. Not just a disease, but a master disease, isn't it? It is not a small disease, master disease. If there will be so many subjects, so many citizens, master. Therefore, we should not expect the doctors to suffer from the master disease. Then only there will be peace in the mind, happiness in life, and pleasure feelings everywhere. Then we can enjoy the life. Life must be adorned with pleasures, happiness, and peace. All of them we will have if we know how to live. The person who does not live joyfully is not fit to tell others how to live joyfully, isn't it? Therefore, much is expected from you doctors. Much is expected from you. You must be always happy, whether money comes or not, to your expectation. We should not worry, because health is more important than money. We are not living for money, we are living for good health. We are living for happiness. We are living for peace in this world. If we have peace, we are sages and saints. If we are happy, then we are very learned, we are experienced. If we are having pleasures, we are good at work. We are good at enjoying the life. Therefore, everybody, not just the doctors, but everyone, has to live here peacefully and have happiness in their heart, and every moment he has to enjoy the world, get pleasure from what he sees and hears. This appears to be the best life. Probably you are living such a life. Unless you had lived such a life, you would not have come here. Doctors usually don't expect anything from others, no advice from others, because their whole life is there to advise. But if you come here with stress and feel joyful here, then your heart is full of happiness. And you have that peace hiding inside your mind. Therefore, you are not just doctors, you are peaceful doctors, you are happy doctors, and you enjoy every moment in your hospital. Every word you say you enjoy, that is the pleasure. Speak with a patient, it gives you pleasure. Isn't it? This is how you are leading a life. Therefore, from you we have to learn. The world has to learn. Life you know, life you treat, and life you save. Therefore, nobody can equal you. The person who wants to live has to be guided by you, because you are a dealer of life. You deal with the life. And therefore, your life must be rich. Must be rich. The person whose life is rich, he is the best doctor in the world. Best doctor. You have heard about Schweitzer, Albert Schweitzer. He was a great doctor of England. He goes to Africa, lives there all his life. He was given Nobel Prize, awarded Nobel Prize for his selfless service in Africa, which was then the dark continent. There people did not know anything. There he went, served them, did not expect anything from them because they had no money, no dollars, nothing, no pounds. But only inspiration or only satisfaction that led him there was to treat the patients. Look from, get a look of gay from their face. That was his purpose. He went there. He says, I lived a joyful life. My pockets are empty, but my heart is full of happiness, because I have treated thousands of people and made them happy in life. Albert Schweitzer. This is how we have to live. Now you have come from the different parts of this taluka district, and so many doctors. The people should feel happy because so many saviors are there in this part of the country. And you are lovers of peace. You are lovers of happiness. You are lovers of pleasure. But you don't love what? Strain and stress. If you don't love the strain does not disturb. Because it is there, it goes to those people who love it. If you don't like it, if you close your door, then it says, this is not the proper place for me to live. Then it leaves. And your doors are closed for strain and stress. And here I close mine. Thank you.